Yo guys, welcome back to a brand new video. Now this video is moreover a sensitive topic, although a lot of people who are talking about this at the moment would likely disagree. Now the title isn't clickbait, it's not fake. Twomad, a very popular YouTuber with over 2 million subscribers, died. TMZ released an article talking about how Twomad had died at the age of 23, and it reads, law enforcement sources tell us that the internet personality, who has millions of followers across his various YouTube channels and social pages, was found unresponsive Tuesday night at his Los Angeles area home. This after somebody called in to ask for a welfare check. We're told Twomad hadn't been heard from in several days by concerned parties, and he even missed some appointments. As a result, the LAPD was sent to check on him, and that's when they found his body, although it's unclear how long he had been in that state. And it suggested in the article that it was a possible overdose. Now, upon this news being put on Twitter, people are ecstatic that he's dead, and I found this really surprising until a tweet by a creator named jameskii came out. Now, jameskii is also another large YouTuber who had a lot of interactions with Twomad, and he released a tweet saying, "I can finally say it. Twomad was a rapist and a pedophile. Over the past few years, he tried to murder me multiple times for helping the police and detectives in multiple states to investigate a lot of horrible things he's done. He wanted to take out multiple innocent lives by getting behind a wheel and going head on a freeway while being high on illegal drugs. He didn't succeed once as he overdosed before killing anybody, so he tried it again. Despite him trying to murder me and multiple innocent lives, I've been trying to help law enforcement to make sure he's safe, doesn't get hurt, and doesn't harm anybody. Please remember that he is a rapist and a pedophile. He continued to prey on the vulnerable even after the police got involved, including a 13-year-old in a mental hospital. The tragedy doesn't excuse any of his actions. I will address a lot of stuff when I fully collect my thoughts. Past few months have been a total mess and reason why I ended up in the ER. Please give me time." Now, given that the TMZ article mentioned that someone called in for a welfare check, and jameskii also mentions in his tweet that he was trying to help law enforcement make sure he's safe, it does kind of support his claim. And there's also a multitude of creators who are also replying to jameskii's tweet. Another person named Rubber Ross replied, "This is a lot, but yeah, I witnessed firsthand Twomad's threats on James's life during TwitchCon. He couldn't even go home because he knew his address and was en route to Vegas after threats. He had to use our hotel room to hide out while waiting for law enforcement." Another person replied, "Can back this up too. He was scared for his life at the partner lounge during TwitchCon Vegas and talked to security at the event because of threats made towards him." Which then preceded another reply saying, "Same, my group and I were staying with James and we had to find other lodging. The whole situation has been a disaster for a long time." Now, after jameskii released this tweet, a lot of people obviously didn't believe him since he didn't really show anything. And from this, people began to pull up an old tweet from jameskii back in 2023 from September. He says, "Unlike the deceptive info that has been spread by certain people, the restraining order is real and in place. To ensure the safety of the victims, I will refrain from sharing more details as the situation develops. Just remember that the order that prohibits an individual from being in proximity of certain places exists for a reason. Stay safe." And upon this, people began to bring up old tweets between Twomad and another person named Goldie-Bell, where she says in these tweets that Twomad had sexually harassed her in his own home and proceeded to stalk her for months afterwards. And also, once again, checking the Wikipedia where these allegations are posted, talking about these conversations that even go farther back beyond the tweets, they once again do support these claims. Now, after jameskii related this tweet, a lot of people got upset saying that it was disrespectful and then I was disgusting that he was doing this because Twomad had just died. Someone replied to jameskii's tweet saying, "Zero pushback against an exposed tweet dropping the moment someone dies is baffling to me. It does not really matter if what he's saying is true or not. This is some diabolical and sadistic shit to post. Twomad, if actually passed, cannot counter nor say anything against this." Now, I don't really fully agree with this, mostly because he's saying if what he's saying is true, this is diabolical and sadistic. If Twomad actually is a rapist and a pedophile, I have no sympathy for him whatsoever. If someone decides to drop all this shit after he dies, I could care less. But it would significantly help jameskii in this case to at least post a restraining order. And again, I'm not saying jameskii is lying in the slightest, because the correlation and evidence absolutely does lean towards his statement. But people love to dick ride their favorite creator and won't believe a single word people say no matter how much shit has happened in the past until you go to the point of directly showing proof to them. And aside from that, I'm genuinely trying to see this from jameskii's perspective. If somebody was threatening me and threatening my life, and that person who is threatening my life is known for satirical comments, and I came out saying that they're trying to kill me, I wouldn't expect anybody to believe me at all. I would expect people to tell me that they're just joking and it's not a big deal. So again, if these allegations specifically of him having his life threatened are true, I can completely see why he would do something like this after Twomad dies. And again, with the amount of backup, with the amount of people supporting this claim, and not to mention the Wikipedia and the amount of people pulling up old tweets about how Twomad harassed them or made them feel uncomfortable in a very extreme way, once again does support this tweet significantly. Regardless, I am actually curious to know what people think about this situation, mostly because the people who are tweeting about this are so split down the middle, thinking that this is terrible and really sad, and another bunch of people are actually celebrating his death like it's the fucking Super Bowl. So I'm curious to know what y'all think about this. I may make another video on this, I might not. Regardless, let me know, and peace out.